at 6:30 p.m. If you would, please rise for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Dan Stokes present.
Shane Childers present.
Looking here. Or Houston present.
Approved meeting minutes for 8/5, regular meeting minutes.
I move to approve the meeting minutes for 8/5/25. Present minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Plan September.
Move to approve.
Isn't that August?
Yeah, it should be an August.
August docket. Good, September docket.
Move to approve September 2025 docket.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The August 25 bank reconciliation.
There is no reconciliation. I didn't. I just got it today, so.
Public request to speak, topics not related to an agenda item. Unfinished business, discuss International Drive extension, next step, HWC/Lockmuir.
All right, so the next step is to get a legal description made up so that Gresham right away can start the process of getting the property evaluated. That's not really what I'm saying. Appraised so that they can start the process of negotiating for the property. So I asked Lockmuir what they would charge for it, and also asked HWC. Lockmuir originally wanted $35,000, had a meeting with them Tuesday. They redid that down to $24,000 even. We had a meeting with HWC, and they came in at $75,000 for time and material and $500 for the property. What was it for the background check on the properties? So, so there were
75,000 or 65?
7,500 plus 5. Sorry. So that is where that came in. I presented it to you. I'm gonna tell you that I didn't have a chance to talk to Huck. Huck just walked in, so And this is gonna hurt his feelings since I was busy today and didn't have to talk to him, but, I mean, we have no choice. I mean, there's $16,000 difference. I'm gonna tell you to go with HWC on it. I can't honestly tell you it's $16,000 more. I can't do it.
And they're providing the same services?
Yes.
HWC.
They're providing the same thing of giving us a, property description to go for to be able to purchase the property. So. But HWC did not give us any information until after me and Huck had our discussion Tuesday, so. But I can't wholeheartedly, but that's your guys' decision, not mine.
So. HWC is saying 7,500 time and material.
Yep.
All work performed under this scope will be performed on a time and material basis.
Right.
You know, are they saying they're gonna do it for 7,500? Or are they saying they're gonna do it for 7,500 time and material? And then later on, we get another bill for $1,000.
No, the discussion was 7,500, that was time and material together. Not 7,500 plus time and material, that was time and material together. This was just their letter, they were supposed to give us a signature proposal, but I did not have time today to follow up on the signature proposal part of it because I was tied up with an issue at the sewer plant.
I understand.
If you'd like to table it, and we just have to have a special meeting some other time.
That's where I was gonna go is if we tabled this to get further definition,
We can table it, have to have,
will that mean that we will have to have a
yes,
special public meeting?
yes, we would. And we'd have to have it within the next,
18 days.
yes. So,
I mean, I don't have an issue, I mean, Generally, there usually would be desired with what they HWC said on there, where it's lot we kind of broke it way down.
Yeah, as long as it won't hurt anything, having a special meeting doesn't bother me, it's part of the meeting.
As long as it's in the evening, it'll be all right. As long as you got two people. I personally would like clarity on HWCs because I am concerned. Their parentheses, 7,500 time and material.
not
And then, at the bottom of that paragraph, all work performed under this scope will be performed on a time and material basis. It does not say, all this work will be covered under the 7,500.
so that's fine.
So, do we want to look at our calendars now and figure out when we want to do this?
Eighteen days
We'll
Within,
have to do it
anytime
before
within
the
18.
18th.
before the 18th, before the 18th or before the 20th.
No, before the 18th. I am leaving sometime probably 3 to 4 o'clock the 19th in the morning.
We can do it that way.
So he needs to be here, he has to answer these questions.
So, yes.
So my question is can you get an answer back next week, or do you need to move it to the week
No,
of
I'll
the
make
15th?
sure, I should be able to get an answer back by next week without an issue.
Do you want
Monday and Tuesday, the next 2 weeks, I'm probably pretty busy, so if we could do like a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. that would be-
Are you good with Wednesday, Cookie?
You know,
You two pick your day, 10, 11, 12.
Let's do,
Preferably 10 or 11.
yeah, let's do, let's shoot for 10.
Are you good with that, Cookie?
you're looking on there. It's a Friday.
No. So when,
Oh, no. The reason is my calendar turned. Okay, it's a Wednesday. That sounds fine.
Wednesday at 6 o'clock? Will that work for you, Ben? Cookie?
Yeah.
September 10th at 6 o'clock?
September 10th, 6 o'clock.
Special public meeting to discuss this. No, we'll just, we can approve either one upon approval of red line. Right?
Yeah.
Make a motion to table the, international drought extension, quotes until Wednesday, the 10th, September 10th.
Second.
Oh,
All in favor?
Aye.
Ordinance 2025-12, rezone plan commission. PC 25-004CA. The, zoning map amendment. This is for the, old doctor's office. Also known as Giving Tree. Sold, and the new owner is, requesting a zoning change from community facility to, DT, mixed use.
would you? Get kind of shop, just about.
The amendment comes with in accordance with Indiana Code 36-7-4-608, the Jamestown Planning Commission hereby certifies their recommendation to the Jamestown Town Council as described below, at the public hearing on August 7th, 2025, per Indiana Code 36-7-4-608, the Jamestown Planning Commission gave a favorable recommendation to change the zone map for the property at 11 East Main from community facilities to downtown mixed use. Half of the proposed district changes are contained in the attached draft ordinance. No conditions were made part of the recommendation. The favorable recommendation from the Plan Commission. Do we have a motion?
I move to suspend the
Zoning ordinance.
move to approve ordinance 2025-12, the rezoning BC 25-004-ZA.
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The next one is ordinance 2025-13, right-of-way use permit.
This is to add to our ordinances, this is for anybody that comes in and tries to cross our roads in our, plus any use of any utility along our right of ways or anything like that. This puts a mechanism for, Centerpoint to come in and actually fix any roads, sidewalks, any of that kind of thing that is in our right of ways in a decent amount of time when they start getting funded. It also allows us to know for sure when they're coming in and doing it, so that, and have to pay a permit fee to us to do it. It is spelled out what they can do as far as patching the road back. So this actually puts a standard in there of what, when, and how, and what. It also puts the mechanism of if they don't do it, it's fine. It also helps out in the streets that we have now, plus out there in the subdivision, that's the things that happen after streets get put in and somebody goes out there and has to cut across the road, anything like that. There's a standard of what they have to do, especially with Comcast coming in and all that stuff. At least this way, when they plan to do a lot of it underground, that's what made decision was. They called and asked about that and thought, we really don't have something, let's get something put in before they get in here and start tearing a bunch of stuff up. So that's what really this was about. So that way we had mechanisms in there to make sure things got put back the way they're supposed to be.
Questions, comments, or concerns?
Make a motion to suspend the rules and consider on the first reading ordinance 2025-13, right-of-way use permit.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Now, does he need to make a motion to approve the ordinance now?
Yeah.
Make a motion to approve ordinance 2025-13, right-of-way use permit.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The agenda calls for the next one to be ordinance 2025-14, but the title says resolution.
Is this an? Okay, attorney looks over, so.
Is it a resolution or ordinance?
It's
It could
a,
be either one. I mean, resolution would need a second reading, but
resolution would,
it would not. So to appoint somebody to be the ADA coordinator, I don't think.
but that's not right now.
That would be the right.
Yeah, so I don't know what the number is on the resolution you're on, but you can adopt it as an ordinance too. I don't think it matters. Well, really good town code. Probably more appropriate to have it as a resolution. I would say you adopt it as, if you're so disposed to adopt it as a resolution with the appropriate numbering that comes next and word. So motion to approve the resolution and then read off the resolution title with the appropriate number.
Not at this time.
Got to do that tonight.
This will be a resolution of the appropriate number. A resolution designating the individual responsible for coordinating efforts of the town of Jamestown, Indiana to comply with Title II and investigating complaints where the town has violated the Title II with respect to the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990. This resolution, legislative and executive body, and is authorized by law to adopt an ordinance and resolutions for the administration of the town, legal and financial affairs. The town shall designate the title for the role of such responsible person as the ADA coordinator. The responsible person shall report to the person designated in the town's organizational chart, wherein that designated person will provide support and assist as needed. The responsible person shall manage the town's ADA grievance procedure, as well as any other related duties as designated and or required by CFR, NDOT, Indiana Code, the town of Jamestown, and any other relevant statute, code, or law. The ADA coordinator shall be Lori Beeston, clerk. In the event an existing responsible person can no longer perform the role of the ADA coordinator, this resolution shall be revised and updated with the appointment of the new ADA coordinator with his or her contact details stated herein, and shall be passed along to NDOT and any other relevant parties for their record. This resolution supersedes and replaces all prior ordinances which may be in conflict.
That resolution is going to be 2025-13. 2025-13.
13,
Yep.
any comments, questions, or concerns on resolution 2025-13?
Resolution 2025-13.
A second?
Twenty 26 budget, Form 1, notice to taxpayers. Lori?
So for the general fund, we're gonna have, we are levying 6,613. Cumulative fire special is 16,606. Cumulative capital development is 24,934. For a total of 188,153. We went over each line item in the meeting. Budget meeting.
Any questions, comments, or concerns?
I think you do need to open it for a public hearing and close.
This is just the first reading. We have to do it. We have to adopt it next, at the next meeting.
Good, Cookie?
So, we move to,
No, it's just the first reading, Cookie.
yeah, just gives people a chance to say.
The raising tax is $188,000.
Huh?
You got to raise $188,000, is that what you're saying?
That's what our levy's, 188,000, that's gonna be our budget for. Any questions?
The next, consider level 365 pump code.
So I would like to change our phone provider from Lumen to what was it? Level one?
You don't have that.
You know what? I don't know. Karen?
Yes, I'm here.
Better turn her up.
Karen, can you hear
I can. Can you hear me okay?
me? So. Can you go ahead and explain about what your services are while I go get some paperwork? Karen,
Yes, absolutely.
do you have the quote and stuff that you can share?
I do. Do you want me to email that to you, or would you like me to share my screen?
Your screen.
Okay. Let me try. Give me just a second. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks for taking the time to review our proposal this evening. My name is Karen Sullivan. I've been in the industry for about 30 years. Our company is based in Indianapolis. Our support team is also housed in Indianapolis, and our company has been around for about 20 years. We are proposing replacing, as Lori said, the Lumen voice services. So it would cut out a significant portion of your Lumen invoice. You do currently pay internet services to them, and that portion of the Lumen invoice would remain as is. Our service does come with 24/7 support and free ongoing training. We've been very successful in the industry with our customer first approach. We do not believe in long-term contracts. We believe in taking care of our clients and that resulting in a lasting business relationship. We are HIPAA compliant. We're SOC 1 and 2 compliant. We've invested a lot in our infrastructure from a security and a redundancy perspective. A lot of our clients are, or the concentration of our clients are county governments and school systems is really what we specialize in. This is just kind of our team. We have an onboarding team. So if this is a proposal that you would like to proceed with, you will have a team of individuals that will help with implement that to ensure that the installation is successful. And this is just kind of an onboarding timeline of what to expect. I'll send this to Lori so that you can review it in more detail if you would like. This just again talks about our HIPAA and SOC 2 compliance. And then we get to the guts of the quote here. So this phone system is based on us reusing the existing telephones that you have in place today. So the Polycom telephones can be reused, so you will not need to purchase any hardware. So the first part of this quote is the monthly recurring costs. So each, as you will see, there are 5 premium seats. A seat is essentially an extension that powers a telephone. So there's 5 premium extensions. Those premium extensions come with the ability to have a mobile app. So users can download that mobile app and use that in addition to their desk phone, unlimited calling, voicemail, all the bells and whistles. The 2 basic seats, I believe, are for 2 conference rooms or conference areas. And those are just kind of common area seats that don't have voicemail and all the bells and whistles that the premium seats have. You'll see there's a forwarding seat on there. That is to accommodate the after hours emergency routing for utility emergencies. And then that voice connector is your main number with 911. So all in all, the monthly total would be $230 per month. And Lori, I was trying to find your Lumen bill so I could kind of compare. I can't find where I have that, but I do believe it was a pretty significant savings over what you are paying with Lumen currently.
Currently, our Lumen bill's about $639 a month for a contract.
Which part of that is your internet? That would stay the same.
No,
Oh, are you changing that?
no, part of, that's a totally separate bill.
Oh, okay. Okay. So yeah, quite a significant monthly savings.
So you're going from 600 to what?
39, average,
So you're going from $640 to $240.
yes.
$800 a year.
We will be utilizing our same phones, because we do own those phones and we'll be.
There is also some one-time setup fees associated with that. Essentially, it's just a provisioning fee on our end of $140 for remote provisioning of those phones. And then the on-site installation fee of $350 and then $10 to port your main number. And that total would be $500 one time.
And we will still have our auto attendant as well, correct?
That's correct. Yes, our system will do auto attendants. You can have multiple auto attendants, one for day, one for night, holiday, etc. All of that is built into the system at no charge. So your monthly fee will be $230, plus the cost recovery fee of $10.50 a month. And then there is sales tax on this quote, but I believe you are sales tax exempt. So we will collect that paperwork during the onboarding process to get that implemented from a billing perspective.
Josh, I did have a question for you. So the forwarding includes 500 minutes. Do you think we get 500 minutes of call a month?
Depends on the outage, but I would say no. I mean, rare, rare occasion it can happen, but no.
What about the basic seat? That includes 500 minutes of calling.
That's correct. And that is pooled between those two seats. So essentially you have 1,000 minutes between those two for outbound call. That's just outbound, by the way. So anything over 1,000 minutes just between those two extensions would be 0.29 per minute.
And Josh, what does this do to our dialer at the sewer plant?
Nothing, it's a cellular.
So it does not affect the sewer plant.
No, does not affect sewer plant, does not affect the SCADA system for the water heater, because it's its own as well. So only thing it is just town. So most of my calls are done through my cell phone because I'm out and about most of the time. So my extension is hard to use. I would assume it'd probably be Lori and Pam's that's used most.
So Karen, can you explain the difference between the premium seat, the basic seat?
Yes, hold on just a second. Let me get back to that. So the premium seat has voicemail, has unlimited outbound calling, has access to a soft phone client on your computer. So if you're working from home, the weather's bad, you want to make an outbound call from your computer, you can do that. It also has access to a mobile app. That is an app that you would download on your cell phone, and it can ring at the same time as your desk phone. So it allows you to take calls when you're outside of the office, as well as make calls when you're outside of the office from that app. And it's going to show you're calling from the town of Jamestown and not your personal cell phone number. That app is also a good form of redundancy. So if, you know, in instance, if your internet is down or your power is out, those mobile apps will still continue to ring in because they are, you know, they get their, it's basically over the cellular network instead of, you know, through your internet service where your IP phones register. So any kind of internet or power outage, those mobile apps would still continue to ring. So it does give you a good form of redundancy built in.
So are you cellular based?
No, no, we are not cellular based. So only the mobile app would be downloaded on your cell phone, and those calls, when they go out, if you have your Wi-Fi on your cell phone enabled, it's going to go out over your Wi-Fi. If you have your cellular data turned on, it'll go out over the cellular data network. Our service, where your IP phones in the office are going to work, those phones are, it's basically voice over IP. So those phones register over the existing internet connection. But if that internet goes down, those mobile apps on your cellular device will continue to work.
That's a great seller right there. We've ran into that already.
So the premium seat, we have five phones on there.
Yes, and I believe when we talked, it was for you, the deputy clerk, the town marshal, the reserve office, and the utility shop phone. And then the two basic seats were for the small council chamber and the large council chamber. So those basic seats, just kind of circle back to the initial question, those basic seats are really just like a common area phone, where those phones are not going to have voicemail. They're not going to have access to the mobile app or the soft phone client on your computer. So it's just an extension that powers that phone. And it, as we discussed earlier, it does each include 500 minutes of outbound calling. So 1,000 total. If one's, extension doesn't make very many calls, but the other one makes over 500, we will, we will pool those together. So essentially you have 1,000 minutes of outbound calling on just those two extensions, and everything else is unlimited.
Okay, so my question is, where does this come from?
What?
The phone.
The internet.
Like provider, you mean?
Okay, it comes from the internet. So it's gonna be cable fed.
Basically, it's fiber, it's over the fiber.
Okay,
So then,
it's fiber.
right,
So if someone hits the fiber line,
that's the reason why she just said, the app on your phone, it operates off of the internet, it'll switch over to the app on your phone. That's what I said, that's where, like that one time where she had to get a hold of the phone company, and they finally rolled it over to her cell phone. Her app on her phone, she can switch it over to her cell phone, and it'll still ring in to somebody. That's where it makes it a lot better than what we have right now, is we have a backup to it. So we're not
Really?
scrambling around at the last minute trying to figure something out because we no longer have a hard line. And the reason why is because if you have a hard line and you have a system like we have, it's outrageous to pay for it.
Yes, those analog lines anymore are anywhere from $75 to $120 each, because they are being phased out. The incumbent carriers don't want to maintain those systems anymore. And there's been a lot of regulations that have basically there's a lot of regulations that have been put upon us as carriers that is now passed down to those analog lines that is virtually impossible to make happen. And it has to do with a new federal guideline of stir shaken, where you have to rate calls in order to prove the legitimacy of those calls to cut down on spam. So essentially any phone company that you're looking at is going to be voice over IP.
You good with it?
Don't like me, Cookie, you're just like me, technology, you're not so,
Good at some things, not at others.
I hate being forced into technology.
No, it's a better product.
It's definitely right.
If you get no spam calls. that would be good.
Patrick, have you reviewed that?
I did, I sent an email to you, I don't know if they're,
Yeah, they did. They were gonna tell me.
that's what I think. Yeah.
Was anything super concerning ever to you about it? Yeah.
It seems like it's month to month. It's month to month, I think, correct?
Yes.
It is month to month.
It works with everything with you, right, Josh?
Yeah, I'm fine with everything.
Okay.
Right. I move to approve level 365 phone quote for phone service of 10 million. Office school department.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you. Lori, I will send you this link and whenever you're ready, there's a process to sign, the electrically sign the quote, and then that will kick that over to our onboarding team.
Okay, do you guys give me permission to sign that? Or if I can? How's that? They can give me permission to
Yeah.
sign it.
You can do a motion in a second to authorize Lori to sign that.
I move we have sign.
The level.
Okay, just the phone company, okay. I moved it,
Quote.
Lori, permission to sign it, level 365.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I have a question, sorry, do we have to do anything, or are we up with the old contract company, or is this time to,
Actually, they're phasing out our phone system and we would have to buy a
Good time.
Yeah.
all right? So that'll work well then, all right, thank you.
Thanks, everybody, for your time. Lori, reach out to me if you need anything, okay?
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you.
Consider the A&D alarm fire station camera quote.
I said, I just got wind of this today, so I just noticed it was for $2,200. Let's put cameras on the outside of the building so we can keep an eye on the parking lot and what goes on out there.
You just got wind of it today?
Josh just showed me the quote. I didn't have this passed on to me, or I didn't, it never hit my email.
Did you request a quote, Josh?
I did not.
Did you?
I did, I believe, a couple months ago when they were down here, giving you guys a quote for, upgrade for the system down here. And you asked me to go ahead and ask him to have a quote sent for cameras to put on the outside of the building at the fire station.
Did you talk to Aaron? Got phones placed several places around. You talked to Aaron about placing cameras and things like that, because he's had some expertise in it.
I know I have not talked with Aaron about placing the cameras around there. Like I said, the quote was through A&D. That Shane asked me to go ahead and ask him to go ahead and give us, and this is, I have not had any discussion with him further of what the system is, or even anything this, and like I said, I just saw the quote, literally 2 minutes ago. So I don't have any knowledge of this quote. If you guys would like to table it for now, and I can get you some more information at the next town board meeting.
I think it's a good idea to have the town property under camera. So if anybody is down there messing around with the building, it's no different than the town building, Josh's building. There are town assets in the building. I think cameras are a good idea. I say table and let Joe talk to Mitchell and get a better idea of what
I'll get a better
they're
idea
getting for the
What?
2,200.
of what we're getting for the $2,200. I have no idea what we're getting for the $2,200.
Josh, you have 4 on your building back here, or 5?
I got 4.
Okay.
One, yeah, it's one specifically for the gas tank, one for each side of the building.
That's why I thought there was 5.
Okay, so you'd be right. Because I was trying to think the one for the gas tank was that way. Let me double check. Now I'm confused myself.
The way the generator is set up at the fire station out back, I think it can be captured from either direction across the back of the building.
Like I said, I can check with Mitchell to be sure exactly what it is for the $2,200 that we're gonna get.
Well, they're putting 4 cameras in.
They're
2
putting 4.
terabytes HDD, H.
You'd be correct, Shane, it's 5 back there.
And 5 megapixel cameras.
So it's basically the same thing that utility building has.
What's the company you ran, Josh?
I have 5 back there on mine.
A&D, they're the ones.
They're A&D.
A and B, everything
That's what I
around here
wondered,
is
if
A
they
and
were
B.
the same ones. Yes. And you've been happy with them?
Yeah, I mean, that's who does, that's our alarm system, that's everything we have, so. Mitchell's been very good about responding on everything when we've had issues, so.
Alarm, cameras, keyless entry.
He's been very responsive and very helpful to me at any time.
I say table it now.
Okay. I make a motion to table the estimate from Wallace A&D Alarm Company for the cameras at the fire station until, fire chief has better understanding of what will be provided.
Sounds like you're, I say,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Joe, reach out to him because his quote is 9/18 expiration.
Okay.
I'm sure he will extend it, but just let him know what's going on, please.
I sure can.
Consider the veterans right-of-way contract.
Veteran Right Away is the company to, we're going to use to get the appraisal and to negotiate and do all the paperwork associated with the extension of International Drive. The right-of-way management service is $1,400, the appraisal service, so this is just passing through them to evaluation, Lonnie Miller, $2,200, and then the acquisition services, $2,320, so $5,920 total to them to do that part of it. This is so the town can have a third party and not have any, it's not our appraisal person out there or anything like that, it's them taking care of all that. So we stay neutral as much as possible.
Is this who was used down here?
Yes, that's who was used on the other properties down here for the right-of-way relocation. They're a local company out of Lebanon.
Motion. Make a motion to approve veteran right of way services for the International Drive Extension Project.
All in favor? Aye. Clerk treasurer? Patrick?
I've got nothing unless you guys have questions for me.
Josh?
Pull up a chair. Pull up a chair. Everything is full swing. Subdivision's been going. This will be the third week out there, second week of installing sewer. Third week turning dirt. Sewer plant expansion started today. They started bringing in everything, started relocating fence and all that fun stuff, so that's going on. We've hit trifecta in the last week. We've had a water main leak, a power outage, and a sewer plant issue. So we've all had all that fun stuff. I did tweak my back today, so if you see me walking funny, I had to go to the chiropractor and get some things readjusted. So they did shut down 23475. Anybody notice that today?
Yes.
As well. So we'll be dealing with that as well. I did notice that there's going to be some new, we're going to have to talk to them about getting some other signage, I believe, added. So,
Yeah, South High is a turnaround and just picking a driveway. Some care, some don't.
I'm not sure what we're going to do. I think even if we put, flashing red lights that, hey, don't go this way, they're still going to try.
They drive past the police car.
So,
They do the fire truck.
but other than that, are there any questions for me, concerns?
Is there a chance they could come down and see what they're pointing out, like you were talking about earlier? Well, I think they would see what the little hill is they're building.
Oh, they haven't started.
They haven't started.
Yeah, they have not started digging. You give them until probably the end of the week.
Okay.
So they're just in the preliminary part right now.
Through,
Yeah. Only thing they've got done right now is the electricians came in, put the temporary conduit in for the manholes electrical manholes that they gotta move out. They've got that done. They're planning to start doing the switchovers, temporary stuff tomorrow. So I can pull out the one out there, and so they got some fence they still gotta move before they can start tearing up any dirt and relocating and stuff like that, so. All right?
Thank you.
Yep.
Aaron?
Hello, for August, we have 27 traffic stops and 6 citations issued, 27 warnings, 2 vehicles were impounded. I will say one of those impounds was a ordinance violation. We had 7 runs assisting other law enforcement agencies, 5 runs assisting EMS. We had 4 case reports, 2 of those were for not having a license, 1 for harassment, 1 for missing person, as usually resolved. 2 active alarms, 1 outright arrest. That outright arrest also had a warrant, a federal warrant, which was served. So we had 3 civil disturbances, all involving the same person, 2 reports of suspicious activity. I didn't put anything for investigation, the rest occurred every 2. We had 3 welfare checks, 37 extra patrols. 1 civil paper was served, 37 police services, 1 juvenile problem, 1 animal complaint. We had 14 local ordinance services. 3 of these, will be categorized as continuous abatements by the town. 3 were citations, 9 local ordinance warning letters went out, we had 12 at least, inspections or follow-ups. 6, just under 6.5 million spent on ordinances. Total calls for the month, 145, make that 147 with 2 investigations. Me and them, midway through the month, completed, the ILEA Evo instructor school. I've been an instructor, a generalist instructor since 2017, but I finally got the opportunity to be on a wait list for over a year and a half to become an Evo instructor. It's one of our free psychomotor skills that we are required to have hours in every year. Evo is by far the hardest one to find instructors for, so it's very helpful to me and the department because I can teach it myself to my guys. Also, we'll be helping out the academy. They want me there as soon as possible. Don't have to wait. But they asked us to come in and teach, and in return they give us credit, training hours for the department to use with our facilities. Car 2 is returned to service. Whether repaired, all the invoices in relation to that have been sent over to the Harris County Prosecutor's Office, where I'm told they will be assessed against this individual upon a conviction. And if there's anybody on amphetamine, he goes through, I seriously doubt it. Pay it, but it's a law that counts. I don't have anything else.
Congratulations on your instructor. Thank you. Classification.
Thanks.
Case activity report. Is that?
So, yeah, I'm trying to find the best way to provide the council and also the public with kind of a rundown using the iWork system. This is the most economical way for me to waste paper doing that. The full report's 9 pages. I really didn't think you wanted all that. I'm still gonna maybe hop back on with one of the reps, see if I make it a more customized report. That's a little more, makes more sense.
This is just a start.
I got it into 2 pages.
Also, I can't read it, so that's. I did want to add, apologize, reference on High Street. We have obviously multiple complaints. I don't blame them at all. I would not be happy either. I went down and spoke with Calumet contractor late this morning, and they're like, oh yeah, we can definitely do something about that. So they took one unmarked barricade, meaning it's just the barricade with the reflective material. It doesn't say stop, it doesn't say go, it doesn't say close, it doesn't say turn right. They just stuck it at the intersection of Jefferson High Street, which did nothing because, as we know, oh, I must go home this way, and that's all they do. So I got called by member Fire Dave Davis. He's like, hey, there's a semi in my yard, which ended up being a delivery from the sewer plant from Mitchell's Excavating.
Are you kidding me?
No, not at all. And so once I figured that out, we moved the barricades back because they moved them, because it doesn't apply to them.
Really? When was this?
About 15 minutes before I texted you. Mr. Eckstead, that's why I drive through his yard, getting around the barricades at 234, and into an imaginary ditch that doesn't exist yet because we closed the road despite the fact there's nothing wrong. So I went down the road close to Island and Puddle Mud somewhere, and I put it on South High Street. I'm sure it'll be gone in the morning, just about it stolen.
So let me ask you something again. Did you just state that a semi was delivering equipment by Mitchell Excavating for our sewer project? Are you taking care of that, or am I?
No, I'm taking care of it.
In all fairness, he just happened.
So, we had a meeting last week, and everybody was told that road was closed and not to be going that way, to make previous
And
arrangements.
Todd knew about it today because we had this communication all morning.
It's like a
So-
brand new thing to them today, so.
10:30 at night,
Oh, it was
the damn housing development thinks it's a bright idea to deliver
Was that them?
equipment until 2 o'clock in the morning. And conveniently, the number that I have for the contact is disconnected.
Maybe it's the phone.
And I extended our meeting last week, that I was not gonna put up with it.
I restrained myself and was.
Well, I will not restrain myself.
I was not as unpleasant as
People
I
take
could.
care of it or I will. I am freaking pissed about it.
All that to say, if they're, when are they gonna excavate? Do we know,
No,
Joe?
I mean, they're supposed to be digging
Like-
soon. I mean, they have, one thing, they have to move the fence because the fence goes right through where the tank
No,
goes.
I'm talking about, Calumet.
I have no idea on that one, but
Because to be fair, I don't know that semi could have gotten onto Lowry any other way.
They know they cannot use Lowry.
yeah, no, that's the thing of it is they were told in the meeting last
Right
year
here, through here.
that unless that road was not being worked on and they could move and go through, then there was no way. But I told Todd this morning that they shut it down because there was a sinkhole that started showing up last week, so there was no reason to use it. They brought the big excavator and that stuff right up our lane this morning.
Well, what did they take back this afternoon?
I'm gonna assume it was the dozer that he told me was coming in.
I don't know why they couldn't track that, but,
Because it's Mitchell. That was a totally different driver than what came in this morning.
okay, because if they had mats, they could have just tracked it through here,
Because it was, no, I mean, literally, they took the low boy this morning with the big excavator on it, straight right up through there and drove it, the semi and everything. It's because it was Mitchell who thinks he can do whatever he wants.
maybe the skill set is not the same as the driver this morning.
I'm going to assume it's the number of brain cells.
Can't pull on this equipment. But hey, I will say, on the South High Street matter, a couple of things. I was advised late last week, there is an individual who resides in the very last house on High Street who is, disabled and has I don't know what NDOT gave them. I have not had a chance to speak to NDOT, just contractors and the people that live there. She is being told that she can park on High Street in front of the residence of 242 South High. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me, the road's closed. So I don't have a problem with that. All other
Is that
residents.
the Brown House?
Yes,
They were given permission as part of their,
right.
part of the easement that we purchased. They were given permission to park there because they no longer was gonna have access
Right, no.
to the driveway.
I just want to make sure everybody's aware of that, because the phone will begin to ring and
Is
stuff.
that for?
No, just
Okay.
duration of the road being closed, and then two, we may have to revisit this road closure on South High Street with some more aggressive signage. It's my opinion, it needs to be provided by NDOT or their contractor, because our little sandwich board road closed sign's got a short lifespan to it. So I'll be mounted on someone's wall here in about a half hour. Or less. All right, thanks.
Do you have pictures of that?
Of the sandwich board?
No,
No,
the truck in
semi.
the yard.
Okay, I want to clarify. I don't know that the semi went to Don's yard. I was told it was a passenger car and an SUV that went through his yard. The semi, I was told, just entered into 234 into the construction area. Whoever follows him as some sort of wide load pilot car moved the barricades, snaked the truck on the Lowry Street. Again, I didn't witness this. When I got down there, the barricades had all been moved and not put back. So we were putting the barricades back because they had opened the roads anyway. So I had cars wandering around in the middle of 234 trying to figure out where to go. But
Are there signs telling them how to go down my street and how to go and stuff?
That,
There's a big sign up there that says honk when they drive by your house.
there,
They have been, but I haven't seen that sign.
Department of Transportation uses your tax dollars to pay someone to make brilliant social media posts and press releases that have said and explained in detail what the detours are. The locals I can see slipping down Lowry Street.
Right.
I don't know that I like it, especially for Nate, but like, we can do that. The school bus can do that. But the problem I have is we had all the 5 o'clock traffic jamming itself through Wilson Way and Lowry. It was
Right.
ugly.
And they're speeding, they speed past our house when bigger than our street. It's like, there's no way to stop them.
Put that dumpster out there and they'll stop.
I got it, all the way around over it.
Joe?
Good evening, you guys got my monthly report already, and I'm just kind of just do a quick scan through. We had like 19 calls last month, we had 4 fires, 4, 12 EMS, 1 motor vehicle crash, and 2 calls for service. Just good intent on power lines and stuff like that. I also sent along with you guys the average responders. If you guys got that page, I know you had a hard time looking at that attachment at first. Just note that these are every run that we did over the month, but we averaged 2.6 responders for every incident. With that being noted too, that we only had 2 incidents where we had, or 2 runs that we had 0 responders. We had a total of 4 last month. So we are down from that. But on that note, also too, with that 2.6, note that we had 4 calls for fire that were fire related. We did have 1 alarm in our area, which was the Granville Wells School for an alarm. The average response personnel for those runs were 4.5. So we are meeting ISO requirements of having a minimum of 4 responders on all fire calls right now, on an average. 3 of those fires were out of district and out of our area, but we still have at least 4 or 5 guys going on those calls. So, along with that, on to the 23rd is our first check-in with John Baird and the ISO. And I'll have, before I meet with him, I'll have the action plan for you guys, kind of stating out what the town's doing, what the fire department's doing, and stuff like that for you guys to review. Along with that action plan, I have 2 quotes here for you guys for some computer software. One is the current software, part of current software that we're using, the ESO software, in addition to what we are already paying about $900 a year. So we'd have to have an additional, what would be a one-time fee of $1,800. And then $3,300 would be a recurring fee for the year. Along with that ESO program, the only thing that we're not paying for is what we have right now. It's called I Am Responding. It's where all the firefighters have. They're able to get the runs and the information from dispatch right now. So on top of that additional $1,900 and $3,000, we're paying an additional $1,500 to have everything that we would need. The other quote you have is from another company called First Due, which is the same similar software, but with this software, as you can tell, it's quite more expensive. It has a subscription or an upfront cost of an additional $2,600 and $2,687 with a yearly subscription being $9,435. But with the First Due program, it has everything in there. It has the responding app. It also has all to be able to do the NIFRS report and reporting to the state that's required for state and federal reporting. Along with this too, it also has assets and inventories, different things to be able to track equipment. Also under this quote too, it has a training portion of it that we can track their training records, but it also gives me the opportunity to assign online training for the firefighters. They can sit at home and do an hour or 2 of firefighting training online, especially a quick webinar or some type of quiz through what's called Firehouse software and a subscription. So these guys can sit at home, do an hour's worth of training, and do a little quiz at the end, and it shows me, and goes into our system, gets logged into our system, which would in turn be able to, we'll be able to keep track of that. Along with this system, and both systems are pretty similar. I think the better system is the First Due system. One, because I think it's just a more robust system, and I think there's a lot more user-friendly things that we can use. And as we continue to upgrade here in Jamestown, at some point, I would like to get a laptop and a computer system so we can have a computer mounted no different than like what the police have. But it also is for them to be able to use and be able to look at mapping and where hydrant location is, get with Josh and be able to put the hydrants in and what style mains they're on, how much water we can get out of each one and stuff like that. So, with this First Due and in either one of these systems, if there's something you guys would approve and let me go ahead and do today, we can, it's gonna be the first of the year before we are able up and running with the system. So it's about 120 days lead time. So this really wouldn't get started until really kind of January is what I'm looking for. So we would continue to use ESO right now, but we would be making a switch over for First Due as that. And, really kind of where I'm thinking we'll pull the money from is our lead money for right now. I mean, I think this is important enough to go ahead and use some of our lead money and spend this and be able to track this, and be able to just have this program up and going to where you guys have some, we'll be able to give you a lot more better data, times and run locations. Along with this too, First Due has a system to where each month automatically will send you guys a report on everything that's kind of being done. We can customize that to your guys' needs. So if you're really interested in how many runs we had, how long it took us to get from dispatch till we got on the scene, how much training we did, everything like that. This system was totally set it up and basically send you an email or whoever we designate, those people will be able to see those reports and stuff like that. You guys have any questions about those two?
I got one, Joe. I got a couple. So. Okay, the ESO is substantially cheaper. With the ESO. Correct, okay, with the ESO, do we still need to purchase I Am Responding?
Yes,
How much is that?
about $1,500 a year.
1,500. With First Due, we have to buy I Am Responding.
No.
Okay. So that number 51, add,
You
1,500.
So you could add 1,500 to that easily. Now with that, we're already paying ESO $1,900 a year to just do our reporting. So you have to add another 1,900 on to this along with the 1,500 to get everything that we would need. And then on top of that, we would have the training aspect of this for the firefighters.
Now, that training aspect, does ISO accept?
It is,
Training?
yes, it's accepted. ISO will accept that. There's still that physical hands-on training that we can still do.
My next question.
We are still gonna do that. This will be, an addition to that. And as we get farther with ISO rating, more training hours we can show, the better score that we can get as for this. So this is something we will continue to do, these 1 hour firefighting trainings a month, out of the hands-on with the guys and do that. This will just be an addition for me to be able to go in there and say, hey, this is a great article or a great quick little webinar for you guys to do this month for an hour. Just do that at your leisure, at home, comfortable, doing whatever you need, and that will track that and it'll go into their record. It'll show up in the record, and this will be a record I'll look and do myself and say, okay, we've met the minimum training requirements, but now we're going above and beyond and doing these extra.
I would not like to see them do all of
All of it, no, you cannot, you're not gonna ever teach a firefighter to do everything from the computer, but it is a good tool and a resource to use, because you're getting outside instructors. You're not hearing it from one or two firefighters that's always doing the training. You're getting guys from Boston, New York, to LA and Sacramento that are doing these classes and put them on through, this particular company, signed with the Firehouse Company, and then they're accredited through the NFPA classes.
Joe and I talked about this. I didn't know who he was going with. We were just talking about him getting software. And I would hope, I don't know anything about firefighting. I don't know much about police work, and I don't know nothing about building inspection stuff, but I do know this. I do know since we, the town of Jamestown, got the iWorks software, Aaron says that it has made his job leaps and bounds better, way easier. The girls say the same. I talked to Deb today and she absolutely loves it because it's sent straight there, wham, wham, wham. And I would hope that this would help propel our fire department into a position that we hope everybody in town is, because it's going to track his records, it's going to track his assets, it's going to track every single thing. And then when Mr. ISO or the state or whoever comes and knocks on the door and they say, let me see this, Joe can, I'm assuming, type up on computer and print, spits it out, and he scans it to him.
It will spit out a report, and he'll just have to ask the guy, you need to see training, here you go. Are you guys doing pre-planning? You know, here you go. Are you guys, how many responders are you having? They have their means to pull from the Boone County Dispatch, their CAD, but then we would have our data here. And it would be totally accessible by you guys too as well. So, it's not something that one person controls, it's something that it's software that the town will be purchasing and you guys will have access to.
That's what kind of training do they give people that are going to be handling this?
That's part of the, one-time, fee, there's like a 4 or 5 hour class that they will sit down with us and actually show us how to go through and work the whole thing and set it up and help us get it set up.
You at one point said you had people who were interested in
doing this, yeah. Here is, like, there's central online, there's 4 hours of online training, with certified first due instructors. So I can have 4 or 5 guys who actually will sit with me as well as me, being able to sit down and we will do these online trainings. And then we'll also be able to do like a 1 or 2 hour class with them live and stuff. They will also, they have a local representative that works here in the state that serves as their software here locally. So it's not, I gotta call Texas or California or New York to get some type of technical help. They have a guy that's actually here in the Midwest that will work with me when I have any problems or any questions and stuff like that. So, and then they have continuing education through their computer programming that I can continue to do and continue to learn how to use the system. So the nice thing too is that because we'll take from the smarter portion of this, as they pull this up, the firefighters will be able to see it, say, okay, I see that firefighter A is over here, firefighter B, and we're headed the same direction. And look, this house is here and it has a fire hydrant here. Okay, so we could start making those kind of tactical decisions before. You can also go in here for like the big factory out there and actually put numbers on doors out there. And the factory can call and say, I've got a fire and or medical emergency in door number 4, come in door number 4 is the closest. We'll be able to pull up on our phones and look on that phone and say, where's door number 4 at the factory out here? And we'll say, okay, it's right here. we're gonna drive right there and get there. So there's a lot of special tools that these guys are gonna be able to have access to and stuff that we're gonna put in there. We're gonna put all the fire hydrants in there, so they know that in front of your house, two houses down, there's a fire hydrant. That's the fire hydrant we wanna get, or wanna be able to hook onto before. And we'll know, okay, that fire hydrant from Josh's information has a flow rate of like 1,200 gallons a minute. Being able to sort of, we know what kind of flow rates and stuff like that as we continue to work the system. I know Josh is gonna be looping the system, so we're gonna have a little bit more volume that we'll pull from and not so many dead hits. But that's something we can put in the computer program, so these guys have access to that information right there and right there. And also, along with this, as they're responding, as the dispatchers are getting updates, you know, the person's not breathing now, or, you know, he's starting to vomit. Those things will pop up on their phone and or on a computer screen. We put a computer in the truck, so we're getting up to the minute information of, okay, this is what's going on, this is what's happening now, you know, is there somebody still in the house? We need to start thinking, you know, because as we respond, sometimes we're going in blind, and the more information that we can get from dispatch, the better off we are, because then we can start laying those plans out of what we need to do first in our priorities. So
that's the reason for the extra money?
that is the extra money. And two, the big thing is I think this is one encompassing program that we have access. Instead of having to have 3 different programs to try to work with, we're working with all of them. One program here, one access, each firefighter would have their own access, and I'd be able to limit their access. Not every firefighter needs to be in the administrative part of this, just a few of us, but those firefighters, I believe, were going there long runs, long training. And even some of them, I might give them access to be able to log in new equipment and keep track of equipment and get stuff for maintenance, you know, trucks for maintenance, you know, this got maintenance on this day, click. This is what was done, and it'll all log into the system for us. Again, and it'll be easy for me, way easier for me to pull up some more reports and give you guys better data and analytics. You know, what times of the day, having guys around here during the day on runs, you know, and that way we can start nailing some of this down and be able to come to you guys and say, okay, look, we might need to think about doing this or that, you know, providing some type of responders during these hours.
And you see,
I mean, from my experience down there, anything that can streamline the process down there is beneficial. The last thing they need is more paperwork.
yeah, no kidding.
I have been down there and I've got boxes I got from Lori and have been storing boxes of stuff and getting it out of the way and cleaning up down there. And so, this will keep us from doing so much paperwork and all that.
Go back to that situation you were in, you know, what you guys did. Just one good system, so.
And part of this too is, you know, part of this is what we're gonna show ISL, look, we're investing in the fire department and what we need to do, and we understand that record keeping is not our strong point. So I think part of this action plan, that, you know, if you guys would approve this tonight, this, we can put it directly in there. This will show ISO that we're progressing forward and that we're gonna do a better job from this point on, because they've essentially given us a clean slate to start over. And I think this would be a great way to get started over. Because I mean, even just trying to get you this simple run data of how many runs, how many people are on a run, stuff like that. It takes me 2 hours just to get that. I would like to be able to click a couple buttons and hand you a report saying, this is the average time it took for somebody from 911 dispatch until this time to get to their front door.
I have some questions for you.
Mhm.
Are these all separate modules?
Yes, a lot of them are, with the ESO one, and then each module, they're all separate modules in here, but,
The first two, I want the first two.
the first two, yeah. Yeah, the first, each one of those are separate modules that you have to pay for to utilize the program. We could cut down on some of these. And there was a couple in here that was, I think, an inspection and being able to send bill and send fines and stuff like that. I had to take that out. That's not something we're doing right now. That's stuff we can add in later. There's actually stuff in here for, the building inspector to utilize too. They have a portion here, not what we have quoted here, but eventually down the road, as we work into maybe having a fire marshal, working a little closer together with the building inspector, we could add a module in here that the building inspector can get in and utilize too.
Right, so which one of these are included?
What's that?
You said you had to take some of them out, right?
Not, these are the ones that what the quote is for.
Okay,
Okay, there are other modules that are separate, that are additional to
but
this.
these are not separate.
These are not, this would be all together. And it'll be all one program, but each one of these, you would have access to each one module. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's not what I was meaning though, I meant.
All
So-
modules listed is what he's requesting.
Right, but if he didn't need the events and activities,
He's saying he needs everything that's listed.
you could take that out, okay? Okay, and how often do they raise their prices? How many years are these prices good for? Like, is it a 3-year contract? Is it?
I think it is a year-to-year
It
contract.
says year to year.
Year-to-year, I actually, she, of course, says naturally wants to sell it. She sent me a contract, which I have ready to go. We can sign it tonight. If you would like, or if you would like, you guys. Yes, I'm assuming so too. You guys want to look over the contract well before we sign anything, but I do have that for first due, and then ESO said they would send one as well, but we've already in a contract with ESO, a partial contract.
Right, so if they came next year and said, oh, we're gonna raise it $2,000, your service fees or whatever, you know, your.
Well, we would assume we need to look in the contract to be sure that, I'm sure they have it somewhere in there where they can raise the rates at a reasonable rate of some sort. I know most of those software contracts have that. It says, hey, we could raise your rate from year to year X amount of percentage. If you guys would like to review the contract before you guys make a decision, it's not, I'm just presenting this to you tonight to get it on your guys' plate and get an understanding where it is. I can easily forward you guys the contract and you, Patrick, the contract to be sure that there's nothing in there that's super suspicious or you don't like it.
I think it would be best to give Patrick a few days to look it over, and we'll address it on the 10th when we have that special meeting
Okay.
next week.
That way you can get the contract from Patrick, redline it. You can send it back to them and tell us the fixes they need to fix.
Okay.
Then.
And you have to make it. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. And this price is quote for it is good to well in November. So it's not, I'm not pressing hard to say, I would like to get it done so we can get started.
Tell them before you only have $10,000.
I tried that tactic already and
Well, you need to look more about doing.
hey, I'll take any help I get. Any other questions for me regarding the fire department?
I do not.
Okay.
Make a motion to table the decision on this for the fire department on September 10th.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Nobody up there?
Nope.
You got a report.
I see that. That's right here. We still have, one person pending, 2 permits issued. There's been, 2 unsafe building, letters sent out. Grocery store and the post office, old post office.
I Actually, I thought my permit should be on here, but it's not.
I give the new garage. Nice.
Foundation. I submitted it before the year, month end.
Any questions for building and planning? ACP? RDC. I do have a letter. Miss Tina Pennington is on vacation. She sent us an email. She wanted to let everyone know that the September meeting for the RDC will be held on Thursday, September 25th, instead of September 11th, as previously announced. This change was necessary to allow proper notification of a public meeting for the discussion on establishing a residential TIF district for the Darlington Villas. The RDC would like to establish a residential TIF before the year end. Therefore, we need to start the process in September. The meeting will be held at 6:30 on Thursday, September 25th, and is open to the public where public comment will be allowed. Thank you, Tina Pennington. Jason.
Evening. Real quick tree update on the existing trees that are there. We took on the 25th, myself, Joe, Lynn, Pam, and Keegan from the water conservation folks went out there and took out a bunch of tubes off the trees. We had trees that were 2.5 feet beyond their tubes, looking great. So we yanked those, straightened up a few others. Again, through the one path where we know they're coming through, they're just trampling the crap out of them. So we're probably gonna give up on those. Also with the trees, we've learned recently that we're gonna get 500 more in the spring. There's discussion as to which trees we're gonna put in there. We'll sort all that out later. All that paperwork right now has made it back to Keegan about the trees and the grant.
I can't cancel it all.
Okay. So yeah, we're gonna get more trees, and with that, I reached out to Lebo and Tri-West to help with weed wrangles in November, December, and March. In preparation for these, I have received positive feedback from Tri-West. I have not from Western Boone. I took the route that was presented to me by you and also through the email response from Mr. Ramey about getting a hold of Mr. Miller. I have actively checked my spam accounts, to see if it's popped back in there somehow, but no, it was successfully sent. It wasn't mailed or deemed or anything, but I have not received anything back from Mr. Miller yet. We still have time because, we're going to utilize them in November. And if they're like Tri-West, they have 30 days prior to the event so they can schedule it for all their legalities. We got our butterfly garden sign. It's not yet been installed, but we'll get it installed here soon. It certifies the butterfly garden as a state pollinator garden. It'll help later on, hopefully, with grants and replenishing the pollinator garden and other areas in the frontage of the park. We also are looking into, but not yet purchased, I don't think, placards, little signs for the pollinator garden that will identify the common name of the plant, the scientific name of the plant, and what pollinators you could most likely see enjoying that plant. So those are in the process of being purchased, if not purchased already. One of the other things that we talked about was utilizing the octagon concrete slab in the park that used to have a gazebo. We're kicking around ideas. Those will develop as they go along. But besides that, the other big focus is everything surrounding and concerning the Cider Fest. We talked about shirts for us, new signage. We're gonna have a logo. We really like it. Little tweaks to it here and there, but the bands are good to go, I do believe by now. And we're gonna do Not really much to do with test run on the caramel apples. We're just gonna go ahead and do them towards the end of the month. We got a pretty good handle on how we're gonna approach that. That's really about it. We're still missing, or still need one more person on the board. Our next meeting is on the 25th, I believe. I didn't write it down, but I believe it's
30th.
is it 30th? Yes, you already heard it, 30th. At 6 o'clock here. Big thing is, do it.
In the small house.
Yeah, the small council. The big thing is just making sure all our Ts are crossed, Is are dotted, and we have apples.
Yes, that's okay.
Yeah, I've started to look around, so if anybody has any leads on apples, yeah, this is kind of a weird year for apples.
I'm checking into a lead.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I did forget one quick thing.
Oh, Lord.
No, it's two. For council information, I was selected to be the keynote speaker at this year's Lineman Appreciation at IMPA on September 18th. So I will be there giving a speech over what it's like to be a lineman, or what my opinion of being a lineman is. So, which is just them. A day if we go up there and they do safety training and some team building exercises and things like that. And they supply lunch. So just letting you know that they actually selected somebody from a small town to actually do this.
Congratulations. I will go back to planning and building, just a brief update. Planning and building is going through Mayor Risk ISO. The ISO, Mayor Risk, same thing the fire department went through, but through planning.
All right, okay, sorry.
Yeah, so, that group is, of course, the building inspector, Deb for planning, Lori and Pam, the front office, and myself. So, I will keep everyone updated on our progress. Evidently, we did one in 2019. No idea. So our previous building inspector never said anything. We will know from now on. RDC, September 25th at 6:30. Park, September 30th at 6 PM. Is there anything further?
I'd like to say something. You know, it's broken rice. I am a member of the Cook County Senior Services Book Club. And I've been telling them about our library here in Jamestown, about how good it is, and it's only $15 a year. And so they decided to have a field trip. So we had 21 of those people came down to Jamestown today. We ate lunch and then went to the Historical Society for just a little bit. And then we went over to the library and took a tour. But everybody was just very, 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 very impressed with Jamestown. And they all were, oh, we could come back and do that. Oh, that's nice. And they said everything looked neat and tidy. And I was like, well, we just had sidewalks on the street, so that goes with that. But I just wanted to thank everybody that is responsible for that, because they just all left in a real good frame of mind about Jamestown. So, thank you.
Thank you.
For having it out here.
What?
I said, thank you for having it out here.
Oh,
Anybody else? Cookie?
I move we adjourn this meeting.
Second. All in favor? Meeting adjourned. Aye. Meeting adjourned 8:15.